Okay, this is a very short video just to explain how the Evangelism Team Leaders Guide works. So here's a little PowerPoint show how to use the Evangelism Team Leaders Guide. The first thing I want you to notice is that you're going to be interacting with a website, churchdnachange.com, and particularly the page called the Resources page. There's a whole library of resources on that page. You'll also be looking at something called the Evangelism Team Leaders Guide, and that'll relate to another document called the ESI 1-year plan. Now this plan is a whole 1-year plan that should be executed by a church immediately after a DNA change conference. So as soon as the conference finishes, you'll start putting into practice everything that's on this ESI 1-year plan. And the plan is unpacked by this document here, the Evangelism Team Leaders Guide, because what we're asking you to do after a conference is to appoint somebody in your church who's going to be an evangelism team leader. Now we define what that means in this document. So this document's extremely important. It unpacks the ESI 1-year plan. Now as you work through the Evangelism Team Leaders Guide and the 1-year plan, you're going to be asked to download documents and lessons and studies and all sorts of other bits and pieces. Well, they're all stored on the resources page of churchdnachange.com. So that's how these three documents are all interrelating and unpacking each other as you work through the 1-year plan after a DNA change conference. So let's go quickly and have a look at the website. And here is Evangelism churchdnachange.com. You'll see promo material, all these buttons along the top. The one you want to get into is resources. Now you're going to need a password to get in there. The password is Mark 1615. So let's click on that, and you'll see that website open up. And this is a whole library of resources. There's the gospel message from video, iPhone, iPads, and so on. Strengthen your devotional life. They're all arranged in blocks according to what they're about. There's some free chapters of my book. There's documents relating to evangelism team leaders. Now, everything that you need inside the Evangelism Team Leaders Guide, all the resources are going to be found in this section. So when you go through the Evangelism Team Leaders Guide and they say refer to this website, this is where you'll be going. You'll be going inside this little particular portion here. There's some important reading to do with evangelism, letters you could write to your church leadership, and so on and so on and so on. So everything you need to be a successful evangelism team leader is in this little library. Okay, let's go to the PDF file of the Evangelism Team Leaders Guide. There's the cover page. Now when you get to the contents, I'll just blow this up a little bit for us, make it slightly bigger. You'll see here it starts off obviously just with some documents and some entries on the contents page, but then you get to starting an evangelism team, an E-team, and you'll see there's a little week number in brackets after the contents entry. So this one says week 1. Now it's on page 13. So what does that relate to? What's that about? Well, if you go to the 1-year plan, you see on the 1-year plan you've got week 1 here. Let me just blow this up a little bit and get it in the right place. Blow it up a little bit more, get it up in the right place. Okay, it says a small group from your church returned from attending a church DNA change conference. Now that relates to week 1, so that entry inside the contents page on the Evangelism Team Leaders Guide relates to week 1. Okay, so let's go back to the contents page, and you'll see 3 things in 4 weeks, and it's got in brackets weeks 2 to 5. Well, you go to the Evangelism Team Leaders Guide, and you'll see week 2, 3, 4, and 5, and there's 3 things to do: 1, 2, and 3. So it's pretty simple how that works, and that's pretty much how these 3 documents relate to each other. Okay, God bless you.